What is up, guys? So for today's video, really tonight, because it's like almost midnight, right? That's besides the point. The point is, we're doing a Aura fishing tier list, okay? And that is not, oh, what rod is better? No, it is specifically fish, all right? As you can see from my very professional and, quite frankly, pretty awesome hat, all right? The tail even wiggles, okay? You cannot find it anywhere better. I found it at Dunham, so check it out, okay, next time summer rolls around. Anyways, we're getting to the video, okay? We are going to be deciphering which fish has the most aura and where the others are placed, okay? So without further ado, we're going to get into it. So number one, we have the bluegill, aka the blue gigi. All right, here's the thing. Listen, I know they're pan fishermen out there, okay? And don't get me wrong, I like to indulge, all right, in the small fish game. I really do, all right? My thing is, though, all right, if you're pan fishing, all right, I know for a fact you're probably thinking, oh, you know, they should be in the middle of the pack, you know, like the big bluegill are super fun. Nah, dude, you're going in D tier, all right? The bottom of the bottom, all right? Because here's the thing, all right? They are incredibly annoying, all right? Hardly ever are they going to be very big to eat unless you find a good spot, then good for you, okay? And three, yeah, I don't know. They just not a great fish, all right? Like, don't get me wrong, they taste amazing, but it doesn't mean that they have a lot of aura, all right? We're going, one of our biggest things on what we're ranking today is how easy are they to catch, okay? And bluegills, dude, literally can roll up a piece of grass and catch one. They are that easy, all right? They're too easy to the point where it is annoying how often you catch them on accident. So, yeah, bottom of the tier list, okay? Number two, we have a black crappie, okay? Or just a crappie in general. Honestly, not much better, but definitely better. The thing about a crappie is, if you don't know, all right, and this is what this video is also for, I'm going to teach you a little bit, all right? Crappie are smaller fish. They can get probably about that big, all right? They can get somewhat big, all right? But here's the thing with the crappie. They aren't an incredible fight by any means. They just squirm a lot and they're very fussy. All right, they have a really weird build and a really weird mouth. So, yeah, it's honestly like if I could put it into simple words, think of what a bluegill and a largemouth bass would be if they mixed together. Okay, it doesn't know what its identity is. Like crappie have a identity crisis. All right, it's as simple as that. So the thing is, as much as they are fun to eat and whatever it may be, okay, yeah, you're going in front, okay, you're in D tier, all right, but I give you a little wiggle room because you have a little more aura than a bluegill, all right? That is not saying much, but still, okay? Next up, okay, we're getting the smaller fish right out of the way. A perch. Okay, here's the thing with the perch. Amazing fish to eat, absolutely love it. Okay, you're getting a tail wiggle for that one. Okay, but here's the thing. With a perch, I'm going to tell you this. A perch is, if you are at a lake, all right, and if you know they stock that lake with perch, just understand that the whole point of a perch, basically, besides for people to eat it recreationally, is to basically put it on a hook for other fish. Yeah, there's no aura behind that at all. Like, you don't get very big, for one. Two, I'm sorry, like, you just don't get caught that much either. It's not because you're hard to catch. It's just because you guys are so uninteresting and you guys are too busy running from every other fish that could eat you. Because pretty much almost every other fish can eat you. So, yeah, you're going, and I'm going to put you in C tier, all right? Because here's the thing with them that people don't understand. You ever heard, you know how fish have spines and they're pokey, and when you get hit by them, it feels like a little stabbing pain? I didn't realize, because I caught my first perch, okay, about like that big. Pretty big for a perch, right? Anyways, caught one earlier this summer. Did not know that they have little spines almost by their gills. So I tried grabbing it quite like I would like a bluegill per se. I regretted it. I kept wondering, like, why am I getting stabbed? But that's besides the point. But yeah, perch, C tier. All right. Up next, we got the largemouth. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to upset a lot of people with this because a lot of people, especially if you're a dedicated fisherman, all right, especially a bass fisherman, you're going to say and be like, oh, dude, obvious S tier. Okay, have you ever fought a 10-pounder? I'm being honest with you guys. I never have. Never. Okay, I have not. But I'm going to tell you this. I've caught enough fish and enough bass, okay, especially largemouth, to understand that they probably aren't the craziest fish as it comes to aura. Okay, that is what we're ranking on here, okay? And they aren't super hard to catch either, All right, I mean, the bigger they get, yeah, the better the fight. But I mean, unless you're like a formidable like 5 pounder plus, yeah, I mean, honestly, not very intimidating. Okay, like don't get me wrong, I'd be happy catching any fish like any largemouth size, whatever it may be. Like that's just how I am. I like fishing that much. I enjoy the experience of it. But yeah, largemouth, I'm sorry guys, I'm putting you in A tier. All right, you are just short of S tier. Only reason being is because the number one reason for putting you in S tier being, have you ever fought a 10-pound bass plus, or have you ever messed with a giant Goliath of a bass? Yeah, dude, that doesn't happen very often. All right, like that's kind of a rare occurrence. It happens enough to where a lot of people can relate to it, but I mean, it's not super common. So here's the thing: you are currently at the top of A tier. All right, be happy, guys. Okay, not at all a biased opinion, just honest. All right, we have something. All right, that personally, I'm actually going to be filming a video very soon of catching it. Okay, is the northern pike. Okay, let me tell you about the northern pike. They not only get really big, they're really fast, nothing eats them, all right? But they also snap rods and break lines all the time. In fact, I have a video, and I'm not going to include in this, okay? I have a clip on my phone somewhere of me hooking into a massive pike, all right, up at my girlfriend's cottage. So big that with, okay, granted, I have 12-pound mono on. I had a steel leader on. It snapped it. Yeah, I mean, it snapped it. So, not the greatest experience. Pretty fun, though, but still, okay? I'm going to say this. If you have never caught a pike, I actually haven't yet. I've hooked into a few, never caught one. That's just my luck, but I'm going to, I promise. The thing with a pike is, yeah, I mean, it's just normal for them to be big, and honestly, like, who cares? Like, if it's a 20-inch pike and above, yeah, it's still a good fish nonetheless. So, yeah, here's the thing. For size alone, and for the amount of gnarly teeth you got in that jaw, yeah, okay, for now you're an S tier, all right, because a trophy fish that is a pike is going to be one massive pike, one massive boy, all right, that deserves another fish wiggle, all right. So here's the thing. Next up, and I did this intentionally back to back because I want to explain the frustration with this fish, the pickerel, the chain pickerel. Yeah, it looks very similar to a pike. It's not a pike at all. They're in the same family, but let me tell you, they don't get nearly as big as a pike does. Nearly. Okay, they have a different pattern. That's what you decipher what they look. That's how you decipher if they are a pickerel or they are a pike or a muskie. Okay, is by the pattern on their scales and skin, but then also just like the sheer girth and size of it, okay? The thing is with a pickerel, I mean, they quite literally live their life pretending to be their big brother in the family. So, yeah, there's no aura behind it. I'm putting a pickerel slightly in front of perch in C tier. I mean, there's no better place. I don't think they're quite D tier because they get big. But honestly, everything else besides that, it really downgrades them, okay? And now, all right, now this is kind of this is tough, okay? I know I gave the largemouth bass A tier, right? Smallmouth bass, okay? For those of you who don't know, all right, and I'm actually going to be filming future videos where I go fishing for exclusively smallmouth bass, okay? The thing with smallmouth, they don't get as big as largemouth, but they don't need to. A 5-pound bass fighting, from what has been told, okay, it is a pretty known thing that a smallmouth bass is going to fight way harder, all right, way more intimidating than a largemouth, okay? Do not know why, all right, and it's in the name. They just have a smaller mouth. Like they're besides their pigment and their patterns on their skin, there isn't a lot of differences, okay? Smallmouth, yeah, they just fight like crazy. All right, now they are not above largemouth by any means in this category. They are not, but I'm going to place it right behind them in A tier, okay? Reason being is because a 5-pound smallmouth is going to give you a run for your money, and you best believe it, all right? I'm telling you this, is the day I get one of these on video, a 5-pounder, I'm going to be pooping my pants, all right? Not literally, but maybe. We do not know, okay? We do not. So, yeah, A tier. All right, right behind largemouth. All right, next up, we got a walleye. Here's the thing, kind of like a perch. All right, walleye get big. They do. They have teeth. They are a little more aggressive. They are gnarly. All right, they're really good at eating fish. Love walleye. All right, I haven't had the pleasure of catching one of these, but I'm going to say this stuff. The thing is, there is not that, besides eating these fish, there isn't much of a rave behind these fish, okay? Like, if they were a terrible tasting fish, or people, like, nobody knew how to cook them and they just sucked to eat, honestly, I don't think anybody would look at a walleye and be like, oh yeah, I want to catch that. I want to catch a trophy walleye. Like, nobody cares, okay? I'm sorry. The only compliments I hear for a walleye is that they taste good. That tells you all you need. I mean, this is a fair point here. All right, we're putting you slightly behind the pickerel and then right in front of the perch, okay? Because I think that's very reasonable. All right, I think it is, okay? All right, up next, the fish of 10,000 cast. All right, and just from that reaction, let alone, you probably know where I'm gonna put this. The muskie. All right, the muskie. Let me tell you, looks very similar, especially these pictures I picked out. I did not mean for that. Look pretty similar to a northern pike. They really do. There are small differences in the jaw, in the teeth, and just the overall structure, but then also just the thickness and girth of the body itself, okay? And the skin textures, the patterns. Muskie are different. The thing with muskie, they get much bigger than pike. They are faster, they are more aggressive, and they are more elusive, and they are way, way smarter. As for their name, the fish of 10,000 casts, because it quite literally takes you that long to fish for them if you're trying, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Right lure, right presentation, you're good. You'll probably catch a few. You definitely will. All right, here's the thing, though. What people don't understand is for a beginner to just randomly go into it and catch a muskie, probably is not going to happen, guys. By sheer luck, it might, okay? It might. Just saying here, though, a pike would, like, if you had a 1v1, a pike and a muskie. Muskie's taking that. 10-0 clearing, all right? It's very simple. The top of the top S tier. All right, top of the top. And for those of you who know fishing already, all right, and honestly, if you don't, go check it out. Muskie are, yeah, very formidable. So we're just going to leave it at that, okay? Like, people fear of hooking into these on accident. Not that they don't want one, but because they don't know what the heck to do if they get it on. So, yeah. All right, next up, we got a flathead catfish. The thing with a flathead catfish, all right, now, you guys know of a channel catfish, you know of a, blue catfish, you know of all these different types. Okay, a flathead catfish are the really big ones. Okay, that's as simple as I can put it, because these are the ones that you're gonna see videos of people holding up with 2 hands, 2 arms, and like they're just massive Goliath catfish. Okay, that is a flathead. Let me tell you, this is a fish where I'm not gonna say it's gonna be super hard for you to catch, but fighting is gonna be so invigorating, and they're just they're strong as heck, guys. All right, they could probably eat your baby if they wanted to. I hope that never happens, and that's never happened, but they could if they wanted to. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I have a little bit of a dilemma now. Okay, I don't know where to put them. I don't know where to put it. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think. Now, if you catch like a 100+ pounder, that's totally different. But I'm honestly gonna put this. Okay, I'm gonna put this in A tier. I'm gonna put this slightly behind the largemouth, almost a tie. Okay, oh shoot, almost a tie. Okay. I know you guys can let me down in the comment section below what you guys think, but that's just how I feel. All right, that's just my personal preference here. Okay, next up, we have the most crappy fish. All right, maybe besides tilapia, or a blubfish, or blubberfish, whatever you call them. Okay, a common carp. Oh, let me tell you, I have never caught a carp, mainly because I've never tried to catch one, never tried to fish for them. Let me tell you this, I do not care if I ever catch one. All right. Obviously, before my life is done, I hope I catch at least one. That way I can say I did. But for my childhood and for my youth, and honestly on this channel, there might be one clip or video dedicated to carp. And that is just because I have to fill in the gaps here, catching every species. Yeah, common carp, not only disgusting, they smell, they're slimy. All right. They're aggressive. All right. They're aggressive, but they look so weird. All right, I don't even know. It's a whole dilemma, guys. Like, here's the thing with the carp. All right, the other frustrating thing is they aren't the easiest to catch, mainly because they're stupid. They're dumb. They quite literally use their mouths to suck up rocks, spit them out if they think it's a rock. Sometimes they might eat a rock. Okay, and by total chance, you leave a piece of corn with your hook in it. All right, and 90% of the time they aren't going to go for it. All right, by complete chance they're going to suck up your piece of corn, and somehow you're going to hook set it to where you hook it just right. Because here's the thing with them, they get pretty dang big. They're an invasive species. The other thing too, like this is just not a honorable fish whatsoever. Nor is this a fish that anybody cares to catch. Okay, whatever other people overseas think about the fish, here in America we don't like carp. So carp, you're going to be in the front, all right, of D tier. Front of D tier, if I could just put this there, okay? Mainly because, don't get me wrong, all right? It would be more exciting to catch a carp than it would a crappie or a bluegill. Okay? But that's the only reason I'm putting it up there in front of those two, but yeah. Okay, next up, we got the bowfin. Okay, this is a fish that a lot of people don't really know of, one. But two, honestly, they mistake it for a snakehead, okay? Think of it as a snakehead, but they get bigger and they're a little thicker in body structure, okay? Bowfin are very aggressive. They got nasty teeth. Okay, they're fast. And they're just a ugly looking fish, but not ugly in like the, oh, ew. It's like ugly like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Like, what is that? Like, what am I looking at? Okay, that is the type of ugly we're talking about, all right? It's not just ugly like, oh my gosh, get away from me. And then it's like, no, it's ugly like, holy, I do not want to be here. Please get out of my face. Like, this thing looks like I just can't even. All right, if these things got as big as flatheads, I would not want to swim in a lake ever. All right, let's just say that. All right. So the thing with a bowfin, very aggressive, very strong. All right. The thing with the bowfin is nobody really cares for them. They don't really get enough. I feel like to an extent they don't get enough recognition. But then by some people who actually know a lot about them, give them way too much recognition. Okay. So that's the thing. Bowfin though, for me, they're going in B tier. All right, and just because by default it's only one in B tier so far, I mean, you know, they're in the leader so far. Okay, here's the thing. For this last one, a lot of people don't even know this is a thing. Everybody's heard of a gar, okay? An alligator gar, however, is a swimming tank of a fish. It is a Goliath. It is a guardian of the water, all right? And I don't mean that as a joke. I mean, I do mean that as a joke. Believe me, I do. But I also wish I wasn't completely joking, because it's also very true. They are armored to the T with scales this thick. They are unbelievably strong, aggressive. They have super big jaws. Their teeth are huge, gnarly. I mean, guys, you've seen the video. If you haven't, watch videos of people catching these, because let me tell you, an alligator gar is one of my bucket list fish for a reason. I mean, I don't have one yet. Mainly because I don't have the equipment, because you need some big boy stuff, all right? But then two, I live in Michigan. There is an alligator gar. There's other gar, though. There's long nose, whatever else, okay? But a alligator gar, more specifically. Yeah, okay? People know of Muskie. They know of Pike. And they may say, oh, those are way more cool than alligator gar. No, I have to argue. I'm sorry. I care much more. I think this is a much more intimidating and just overall a pretty dang scary fish. Way more scary than any other fish on this list combined. Like, it is unreal how scary these things look. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. Like, this is one of those fish where I would be, it's like, think of this. If you're if you're walking through water, all right, especially in a territory in which these are at, forgive me, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a general fear of mine. If I get one that big, like in this image, dude, I might lose my leg. Like, that is for sure going to eat me and bite me. Okay? Like, for sure. All right, if the bait for these fish is practically a whole full-grown common carp, they just stick it on a big old hook about that big. What about that doesn't read aura for a fish? Yeah, I mean, by far S tier, okay? S tier all the way. The last one on this list is the channel catfish. I did the flathead. I did everything else, okay? The channel catfish, I'm leaving the blue out of this tier list. I might do one in the future depending on how this does, okay? But for this video, the last one we're doing is the channel catfish. The most normal and universally known catfish in the world, okay? At least in America, all right? Here's the thing with the catfish, channel catfish. No matter how big or small they are, they fight like crazy, all right? They are incredibly strong. They're pretty fast, dude. Like, as far as most freshwater lakes go, this is the apex predator. Not because, oh, like, they're the most deadly or they're the most aggressive, but because, like, nothing really eats them besides themselves. like, don't get me wrong, like, again, forgive me. All right, don't get me wrong. Catfish are cool and all, but they're pretty dang disgusting. All right, the thing with catfish is, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna have a future video, or like many videos in the future of catfishing, especially for these kind alone. But it's like, it's one of these fish where, like, it's almost like a love-hate relationship, where it's like, you only really want to catch a channel catfish if it's a Goliath, and if you get a small one, it's like, yeah, I mean, I enjoy the fight, but like, what am I gonna do with this? It's just that situation here, okay? Now, the thing with the channel catfish is, as far as aura goes, I can't put it too high. I just can't, all right? Like, I think the flathead has it by many different tiers, but just for the sake of what other fish are on here, I'm putting this in the bottom of B tier, right behind the bowfin, just because if I had to choose between every fish above, okay, even in the B tier, bowfin and everything above in this tier list, over a channel catfish, I'm most definitely choosing every other fish besides a channel catfish. Like, that's just how I feel, all right? You guys can let me know down in the comment section below, but yeah. And that is the conclusion to the aura fishing tier list, okay? Here's the thing, though. What I want to know from you guys is, what did you guys think? Did I leave any fish out of this tier list? And if so, let me know for a future tier list video, part 2 of this, okay? But this video would not be final, okay? And this video would not be possible. And yeah, I know you guys know where I'm going with this, just like every other video. It would not be possible if it wasn't for God, okay? Because here's the thing. Again, this phone, what I'm filming myself with, okay? My hat and my flipper, all right? I mean, my tail wiggle of approval. Okay, we're gonna try to remember that. Okay, my MacBook that I'm using for this video, everything. Okay, the set, everything that I have, all of this would not be possible if it wasn't for God. So seriously, thank you, God. Thank you for everything. All right, so I hope you guys have a great night and a great day whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys another day. Thank you so much, guys, and I love you all.